Welcome back. This is Ravy here with Kill 2, and we will be your commentators for this final of the Lions Tournament 9. This is two very high damage teams we see against each other. On the right-hand side of your screen, for HYDRA Reloaded, 3 Vindicators, and Aneros, 3 Sabers, and 3 Carries.
And on the left, for Outbreak, we have 3 Slipners, 1 Claymore, 1 Scimitar, 1 Hugin, 3 Sabers, and a Thrasher.
These are teams that'll do a ton of damage. It's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, the carries on the HYDRA team are designed to damp down and force ships in, but they're not going to really need it too much because all the damage-dealing ships for Outbreak are right on top of their Vindicators.
And we've seen in a couple of the past matches, the Minmatar Rush teams not warp right to the beacon. In this case, everyone has pretty much warped right to the beacon. We have all the DPS focused there in the middle. The support is pulled back. They're kind of near beacons, but there will definitely be a lot of damage right away.
We're less than a minute now from the start of this match, but in the few seconds we've been asked to do a shout-out by Lady of HYDRA Reloaded for the Women Gamers of Eve channel. Definitely check that out if you are a woman playing this game.
Yeah, and actually, I can't be sure, but from being in the Alliance, it kind of looks to me like Garmin, the captain, isn't actually on the field, so maybe they let some of their, alternates play.
It is very possible, yes. I don't see any alts that I know of his on there. Well, we're seeing a lot of damage coming onto one of the Vindicators for HYDRA from these Slapners. Honestly, I think that the Outbreak setup is the stronger of these two teams. I know that in this case we're having 2 friends facing each other, but I'm sure they're both going to want to get bragging rights, and my money is on the Sleipnir team. It's a very well-designed Sleipnir team, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Vindicator team would have done just fine in a lot of the matches in the tournament. I think you're right, though. They're going to do it here. Anyway, the first Vindicator, piloted by Tropic 9, about to enter structure. We lost a Saber already for HYDRA. A second Saber for HYDRA is getting hurt pretty bad. He goes down as well. Damage spread across a little bit of the support on the Outbreak side. One of their Slipners almost at half shields. But for the most part, Outbreak in a commanding lead.
Yes, these Vindicators do a ton of damage, but unfortunately for the HYDRA team, Sleipnirs in numbers will actually do even more damage. And the Vindicators, even with their webs, the tracking can still be a problem at these very close ranges.
So it looks like the Outbreak support running down a couple of those carries, even though in this match they probably aren't really doing anything. There's the potential that they could damp out the Scimitar to keep him from repping, but for the most part, everything's focused right there in the same little space, and you actually see the Scimitar right there, right on top of the fight, so that's not possible.
Yes, and we're seeing right now the HYDRA team switching damage. They switched from one of the Sleipnirs of Outbreak to another one, doing a little bit better on this one. It looks like there took a bit of time for the rep drones that Outbreak is using alongside their Scimitar to move over to the other ship.
All right, well, this second Vindicator about to head into structure. That Slipnir now taking a little bit damage again. He is getting repped, of course. There's shield bots as well as that Scimitar.
But it's impossible to rep the damage from 3 Sleipnirs and a Claymore and all those Sabers. That's just a massive amount of damage.
Yep, just too much. And probably, I mean, we're seeing another carries go down now. I bet the damage will actually increase as those Sabers come in from killing carries and help finish off the Vindicators.
So it looks like we were actually given a real fight. This is 2 viable teams, although the Outbreak team is obviously the stronger in this matchup. And they also decided not to bring us a match that is going to be slow and drawn out by any means. These are 2 high damage teams right on top of each other. This is Alliance Tournament combat at some of its best.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, is this Outbreak setup any different from your version of the Minmatar Rush, the original one?
The only difference that I can see is they're using rep drones, and we use damage drones on ours. But
ship-wise, it's
it's the same.
Yep.
And it's one we have seen a lot in this tournament. It's a very common setup. The one we're seeing from HYDRA Reloaded is one that I don't think we've seen this exact setup yet in the tournament. It's one we've seen in previous tournaments. Triple Vindicators used with a lot of E-War frigates. And it is one that has worked quite well, similar to the triple Megathron teams with E-War frigates that were popular in previous tournaments.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You know, we through a lot of the tournament, we were talking about these rush teams and kind of hoping for something different, and we got something different. We actually got, Amar teams winning and some other stuff going on in the middle of the finals day, but I think it's kind of appropriate that the straight Minmatar team comes back and finishes off the tournament.
Yes, it actually is very interesting that the actual setup that's going to win this tournament is exactly the same with a few slight changes in the drones and possibly some other fitting changes from the team that won last tournament.
Yep, I mean, yeah, it's just proven over and over and over that this sort of setup performs really well. Obviously, at this point, damage has let up. for some reason.
It looks like the Outbreak team is sending some of their damage out after the Aneros and trying to take it down. I don't know why they've decided that they probably can't do enough damage to Lady's Vindicator, but they still are doing some fire on her. At this point, they may just be celebrating together. This is quite a achievement for both teams. This essentially is one collective unit working together, coordinating the tournament that has managed to get first and second. That is an achievement that's never been made in the tournament before.
Right. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that have kind of a bitter taste in your mouth about two teams like cooperating in the finals match. That's in a way something that you want to despise, but at the same time, I really think this is a big part of what makes EVE amazing. These guys engineered from start to finish through cooperation, through a lot of hard work and skills outside of just how well you fly your Tengu. They set themselves up for this, and that's pretty fantastic. And they're actually going to get rewarded for it by presumably splitting up the rewards from the tournament.
Well, either way, they're getting ships that are of similar value, because
right.
the frigates and the cruisers traditionally have been of similar value. They are all amazing ships that have pretty huge value. And yeah, they're at this point, it looks like they've all basically stopped moving. They are firing at each other. It looks like Lady's Vindicator is getting a chance to pick apart the Outbreak team, just because an orgy of destruction is always fun to watch. Beats Kongi in any time, I'd say.
I don't know if I would have said orgy, but I wonder if Lady can actually turn this around
and take the win. That would be a very impressive victory.
It would.
It would pretty much require Outbreak allowing it to happen, though, so we'll see what ends up happening.
No, maybe it's just that Lady's good enough to turn this around.
She has been known to control for up to 5 men. Once again, we're seeing the lone Vindicator of Lady destroying more of the sabers from the Outbreak team. It looks like they're going to at least destroy some more ships before they get to the end of this match. And we actually, at this point, don't know who's going to be the victor, because it really is, I don't know, maybe they had a coin flip beforehand. Maybe they just settled with a game of Magic the Gathering. At this point, you never know.
Hey, I have a question. You get medals. We talk a lot about the ships.
Indeed.
We get medals as well for winning. They're different for the winners and the losers. Have you had any offers to actually buy those medals? And
yes.
What would you expect to get for those medals?
The medals are in-game items that don't do anything other than look pretty in a hanger. I have gotten I've had people ask if you're willing to sell them, the ones I've got, but I've never taken them up on that. So I don't really know how I wouldn't really sell mine. I hope you guys who are going to get these 2 medals here aren't going to sell yours, because they are really mementos of a lot of hard work that goes into this tournament. You guys have done an amazing job. I have a ton of respect for the Outbreak and HYDRA teams here. The amount of work you guys had to put into testing on Sissy, the fact that you managed to avoid getting spied on, the fact that you managed to engineer these brackets, that is some top quality work. That is EVE at its finest, really.
Yeah, that was another tidbit I'm not sure if I mentioned before, but I definitely heard that HYDRA, or HYDRA Outbreak, whatever, was
HYDRA break.
HYDRA Break.
Out reloaded.
Feeding intel to your PLB team's opponents in the prelims, and probably your A team as well. And that could be a big reason why we didn't see maybe this exact situation for PL happening.
And for anybody that would have thought, oh, this is a dastardly action. Well, it's a dastardly action that my team would have loved to do if we could have you. So it's something that I'm not going to begrudge anyone, because I'm sure if we could have gotten in this position, we definitely would have. We did know that somebody was feeding intel. We actually thought it was somebody else. We thought it was Uki of Black Legion, because he kind of went along with that.
Yeah, but I think someone was pretending to be Uki.
Well, yes, but Uki also was pretending to be
yeah,
that
there was
guy.
a lot
So
of pretending.
it was very
going on.
confusing all around. But yes, we did know that was happening, and it was very effective. And we're still seeing
Lady
Vindicator
continues to claw her way back into this match. She killed a Hugin and a Scimitar, and now it's 3-on-4.
Lady's Vindicator is this is probably the most impressive single performance by a pilot in the Alliance tournament.
I guess
it may be staged a little bit, but that is
no. I'm sure.
I'm sure it's entirely natural. Yes.
The guys in the other room are they're crying. They're like, this is the worst.
You could have at least left 2 Vindicators up, so it would have gone a bit faster.
Yeah.
But no, Krugerrand Sleipnir, who I had to pay out my 100 million ISK bet because PL lost in the group stages to to HYDRA. His Sleipnir is now dropping. Oh, getting some armor reps from the Aniros of HYDRA Reloaded. A little bit of cross-team repping there, but now he's down.
And again, I'd like to say, I feel like this sort of situation, there will be people that hate it. There'll be people that just, want like a pure, honest competition where each match the team does the best they can to shoot the other team until they win. But the fact is that EVE is just not like that. And in fact, I've seen a lot of people posting, and if you guys want to post, I made a thread where you could talk about rules. I'm really interested in ways we could redesign the tournament or alter the tournament. And people posted that, the group stages are bad, or that the format could be changed in this and this way so that there wasn't this sort of thing going on. But the fact is, it's going to happen, especially in EVE. There's so much to be gained from.
There is indeed. And I think this is something where also keep in mind the skills required to do this kind of trickery is the kind of things that you don't need to build up time. You don't need skill points for.
Right.
And this is something that anybody can get into with enough time. I remember only a couple of years ago, Ramo, one of the pilots from HYDRA, and I were in the same low-sec corp, and I don't think at that point either of us dreamed that we'd be participating in tournament-winning teams, but now at this point we both have. And he came second last year, and I don't know whether he'll come first or second this year. It probably depends on the dice roll, but... really, this Alliance tournament is an example of something that anybody in EVE can get involved with, even when it comes down to testing with your Alliance. I know all kinds of Alliances require more people to participate in the tournament, and even if you don't have high skill points, you can almost always find a role. But it's a great way to get involved in the EVE community and show off your impressive skills, whatever they may be.
Absolutely. So, it does look like HYDRA is going to get first place here. Lady's going to just now finish off this Claymore. And
I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm not going to get to claim that my setup won the tournament. It was winning the tournament, though. So
yes. I think it's safe to say your setup would win in a real match.
I think dastardly unfair metagame is the only thing that stops my setups from winning.
You would never, ever engage in something like that.
Not in the slightest. Now, the real question is whether Carrie Savage of HYDRA is going to die before the end of the match. Maybe Lady will take him down just to make it a one Vindicator standing, or maybe she's listening. She's turning around. But we'll see. This match is one way or another very close to finishing. Or at least I hope so. Come on, you got to finish off that Thrasher. But
it's safe to say that if nothing else, HYDRA has ensured that the community will hate them forever.
Yeah. Well, yes. But the rest of the community will love them. That's the great thing about EVE.
The competitive community can respect what they've done. This is a really awesome performance.
And now it can be said, with HYDRA winning, Garmin is once again a very rich man. The ladies of EVE start lining up. And back to you, Soundwave.